Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of That Side Podcast.
Yes,
Where we talk
sir.
about this side, that side, or whatever side you from. We just here to hear your perspective.
There it is.
Today we got Versus Visual with us today,
Your boy.
and we have another special guest. May you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Cyrus. 25. I'm from Maryland. Grew up in PG County, Montgomery County. Now I live in D.C. and I'm a police officer.
Hey, shout out to the police officers, man. They out here serving and protecting, man. Yeah. So yeah, man, we got a few questions for you, man. Like first, I wanna you said you're a police officer, man. That's an amazing, what I'm saying, route to take. That means, you wanna protect your brother and your family out here. We all God's children, so everybody your brother and sister. So that's real commendable of you, man. One of the questions that we got for you, like, man, what made you really like want to be a police officer? Like, what came the idea? What made you jump to it?
So I knew I wanted to do something where I'm not doing the same thing every day.
Okay.
So initially I was in school to become a civil engineer.
Okay.
I was in college for that.
He's smart.
So I went into it, got into the computer design aspect of it, wasn't liking it.
Okay.
I said, yeah, this ain't it.
You was
And I
bored.
realized college math not the same as
Man,
as high school calculus.
you would never lied
Whole
about
different
that.
thing.
What?
Whole different thing. And but yeah, I was in college, then I didn't know what I wanted to do no more. I was unmotivated and I just felt like I was wasting my time. So I wanted to start, doing something else. So my aunt, she proposed to me being a police officer and she shared with me like the benefits and stuff like that. And I knew I wanted to do something where, I can make a direct impact on the community, to be a good influence on those around me. Not doing the same thing every day, like I said, something exciting. So that was kind of right up my alley. I never thought that I would be the police. Never thought I'd be the police, but here I am.
So we got a lot of younger generation, right? They'll never think that they'll be the police, right? But I know a couple of people who they're able to feed their families on becoming a police officer. And I know you said your aunt told to you just a little bit about the benefits.
Right.
Could you let our viewers know what are some of the benefits?
All right, so of course the pay as well. You start off making a good amount. You get all your benefits, your health insurance, you get your dental, you get your vision, you get a pension. You get
Not many jobs get those.
paid leave, sick leave, all of those things. But the pension was really big, and I can retire at 25. So like I said, I started when I was 21. So 25 years, I'll be 46. I'll be retired.
And you collect your full pension at that age.
Full pension.
Whew, y'all hear that? That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of police officer, I went on the page. I see you everywhere. You the face? You gotta be the face, because I went on that Instagram, man. I'm seeing him doing so much, man. He be really in the community, man. Like, I see you was a part of the Halloween jump with the house, like, and I see you do it every year, man. Like, you really get back to the community. Like, how did that make you feel?
It's great, man. It's definitely fulfilling. Something I enjoy. And, just really seeing the impact that I'm having on some of the youth and stuff like that. So when me and my team, we might go out to some of the schools and stuff, and they recognize us, and we have like a good relationship with the people at the schools, with the youth. And that's not something that you see a lot of, and it takes, intentional time, and it takes, frequently visiting, and after a while, you kind of just build that rapport. So, yeah, it means a lot.
All right, man. So now, since you really about the youth, hey, Q, it's time to get into them Gen Z questions, man.
So first and foremost, how do you think you represent Gen Z?
How do I represent Gen Z? First of all, I want to say I am certified Gen Z, born in 99.
There we go.
Born in 99. I'm Gen Z. I'm one of the OG Gen Zs
Okay.
from the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? But how do I represent us? I think I think I'm definitely a proponent of how a Gen Zer thinks. I would say that we, and not to get too far into what some of the future questions might be, so I'm gonna keep it a little surface. But I think we are thinkers. I think we're thinkers. We definitely are. We were brought up in the information age, so we have a lot of knowledge. I believe too much knowledge. Not to say it in like a we're smarter than other generations type of way, but we have access to too much, you know what I'm saying, to the point where everything kind of gets diluted. So kind of trying to filter through and see what actually is important, what knowledge is important. So I think we have knowledge, but I think we lack in certain areas as well.
So how do you make sure that you're finding the right knowledge? Not just finding any knowledge out there, just random knowledge. People just throwing things out there to just kind of grab your attention. How do you make sure you're grabbing that right knowledge?
That's a good question. So I would say from a practical standpoint, what is applicable to your life? What is going to help you advance? What is going to help you, your family, those who you love, and stuff like that? What is going to help you physically, mentally, and then me personally, spiritually? I believe that the fear of God is the beginning of knowledge, as it says in Proverbs. And that's kind of how I live, man. And I think that the key to wisdom is actually God. And, you know, wisdom is knowledge applied. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people know a lot of things, but don't apply it. And that's one of the things that I definitely want to touch on in regards to our generation as well. I think we know a lot of things, but we don't really apply it.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you want to. I mean, you probably do. I feel like you a hip individual. You know about the term free car?
Freight car.
Free car.
Free car.
That's the term. That's the Gen Z term. Free car.
I ain't gonna lie. Some Gen Zers be telling me I'm a little out of touch.
Okay. All right. Pootie, what's free car?
Free car mean like, well, you got a free car. You got it. It's your car. You didn't pay for it.
How they get it?
Oh.
That's free car. So look, I want to show you something, and I want you to tell me how this make you feel. This is actually the first video I've seen somebody do something in regards to the free car, and I feel like the video was actually telling the youth not to do it. So I want you to watch this real quick.
Hey, listen, we're live on You Got Caught in 4K TV. What's your name?
JD.
Here we have JD, and what were you about to do?
About to get this free car.
JD's about to get a free car, which means still a car. And how old are you?
14.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Exciting. Okay, so JD's facing a choice right now, okay? Let me ask you, JD, did you think you were going to get away with this?
Yes, it was just going to be a slap on the wrist right after.
A slap on the wrist. Number one, not only is it not a minor offense, but you're going to have to deal with court dates and possibly be in jail with somebody like this.
What if I'm just a passenger?
Good question, JD. Myth number two, ain't no such thing as just a passenger. Both of y'all going to jail, and 9 times out of 10, he going to tell.
What if I'm just a lookout?
You're smart, JD. You're smart. Myth number 3, if you're just a lookout, you're probably going to have to look out for a lawyer because both of you are going to jail. So you got a serious decision here, JD. What'd you choose?
I'm going to just stay at school, go to college, and get that bag.
Hey, good? Give me that ski bag. Yeah. JD almost made a bad decision and had to deal with. And it was almost bad.
How it make you feel?
I think that's a good message. It definitely grieves me just to see how comfortable the youth are, you know, with doing said things. I think a lot of that is the fruit of some of the negative influence that social media has had. Because, you know, a lot of those challenges, still in the car is a challenge. That's crazy.
For real? I didn't even know
that.
that.
It's from TikTok, you know what I'm saying? So they, you know, the Kia boys and the people who still in the Korean manufactured vehicles. That started off as a TikTok challenge. They learned from TikTok. Like, it was tutorials how to steal a Kia, how to steal a Hyundai or whatever.
Dang.
Yeah.
I ain't know that.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that we kind of got to that point, you know, and the youth are really driving a lot of those crimes. That's wild.
So, what do you think then at this point Gen Z's largest struggle is?
Largest struggle. And I touched on that earlier. I would say one thing. I'll save the other thing for later. I think, like I said, the accessibility to knowledge. I think we got a lot of knowledge, but I do think we lack wisdom. I think we got a lot of zeal, a lot of ambitions and stuff, but we lack direction. You know, a lot of things can kind of be divided, you know, so we have all of these ambitions, but so many things at once that we're trying to do to the point where, you know, we're not really locking in or focused on one thing. Right. And I think the art of delayed gratification is kind of like, we're kind of going away from that. I think we need to play more of a long game, trust the process, you know what I'm saying, and build a lifestyle of consistency, discipline, and then from that, you know, you're going to flourish in the long run. But everything is like now for us because of our attention span. And again, that's one of those things that is from social media. We're the first generation to have full-blown social media and smartphones in our childhood. First one. Yeah. So it has, we're seeing the effect that it's been having. Yeah.
And that's 100% right. I remember when I first got my first phone, I was the first one in my family to have a color phone. Everybody else had the green screen, had Snake on it. I was the first one with a flip color phone, and it had nothing on it. All I could do is I could do the T9 texting, but you had to pay per text, so my mom wasn't letting me text. Or I could just get on the phone, right? And that was after nights and weekends. So where now, like you said, your generation has that full access to the phone, full access to social media, full access to trying to guide your life in a certain direction. How do you think that we can show delayed gratification on social media?
Take breaks. I'm definitely one who likes to deactivate my social media. Sometimes I don't have social media. I'm currently considering going away with social media. Okay. I do find, you know, some usefulness in it, and I think for what y'all do, it's necessary for you guys to have it. For some people, it's necessary to use it as a platform. I don't really use mine as a platform like that. It's more so like a personal thing. So I oftentimes find myself just kind of wasting time on it. I'm sorry, what was your original question again?
No, that was
it. That was
yeah.
it. That was it, 100%.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Cyrus. I think that you should change that. I've seen you with your nieces and nephews. I've seen you how you are with people, random people, at the Halloween events. I'm seeing you at the events with the MPD events. I'm seeing you so active, but all these people that want to see who this active person is, they can't find you because you're not showing who you are on there. Like, yeah, you post pictures here and there, but you can really be, like, I was joking about you being the face, but you have an appealing face, and what I mean by that is it's approachable. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first met you, you changed my way of how I see officers, period. Before I met you, I had a very, very bad taste in my mouth with officers. I had a bad, I never told you this, but when I was 16, I was charged with assault on government official and officers. 16. And I don't remember what happened. My jaw got broke, arm got broke, and I was at a high school football game. And when I was facing some crazy charges, and the only reason why I didn't get what I was supposed to be getting at that age. And in Carolina it's different. Like the charge for youth is way, way, way different. People think you go to like a juvenile detention center. That's only in like city areas. In the southern county areas, you get charged like an adult. You go in the same cells they go in. And and I was just in there for a weekend, and I saw the judge and everything that Monday, and that was my first offense ever. Like I never got in trouble. I wasn't a bad, I wasn't in the streets. Like that changed my life completely because I was confused why all these officers was assaulting me like this, and I can't say that it was a white cop. It was all shades. It was more than one, and it made me look a certain way, And then my uncle was a detective at the D.C. department for over 30 years. Wallace Carmichael. He was in I think the 4th district, I think, and he went from an officer to a detective. He was on like the I don't know what the code is, the term is, but he was like in the department where they handle like the prostitution and stuff like that. Okay. And then he switched over to homicide, and then he retired. And he treated me a certain kind of way, because how I look, like how I got tattoos. But when I met you, it was like you saw a human. You saw me as me. And now it's crazy because now I'm starting to see more other officers like that. Like I got pulled over by this officer. He was cool as a mug. He was nice. He understood. He was being understanding. He didn't come aggressive. And it's like I'm starting to see more of that. And I think more people need to see more people like you so they can feel comfortable again. And you make me feel that. And back in the day I wasn't just a good person, and you make me feel like I'm a best person in the world. So I definitely think that you should make a presence and just show what you do. Like when you in the community, when you talking to the youth, when you doing stuff for the murder. Because what they do, a lot of stuff that I seen that you do, it goes into the story sometimes. So then it goes away. Story is only 24 hours. Right. And I saw some stuff that you did that's on the actual page, like videos. And I think it was like an event. It was like a trampoline event and stuff like that. I saw that one there, and you were speaking like, and it's just, you are a friendly face. So I think you should definitely change that a bit and just talk more, and not just on the police side. Like you're a spiritual person too, and you know that Bible to the T. Like you can literally show the youth what they missing, because we got churches out here that the youth love going to because it's like going to the club for them. Like when I go to Zion and they jamming in there. When I go into the youth side, they in there jamming, they getting down, and it's fun for them. It's not like back in the day when I first went to church. It was boring. It was so dry. It was like my grandparents took me to this place, and they just was like dragging. It was like these old people singing, and they had the old hymns that the old people singing. It made me want to go to sleep. I couldn't listen to the word, but this time now they're changing it. They got a way you can come as you are. So I just think that you should for sure just think about it, like, because I think it'll be a good thing in the long run to see a person like you doing positivity in the world.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yo. Thanks for saying, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So jumping straight into that, then we're gonna give you an opportunity right now to talk to the youth. We're gonna give you an opportunity right now. This is gonna be posted on all platforms. We're gonna hopefully collaborate with you on this as well. What message would you like to give them?
What message? Let's see. I would say there should be a freedom of opinion. You don't have to agree. I don't agree with everything you might believe or say. I don't agree with everything you might believe or say. But we've gone away with freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and especially being in America, like that's something that we should be proud that we have. Because in other places, you might not see that to this extent. So yeah, I think we've gotten too polarized as just a people. We are too, this is black, this is white, this is right, this is wrong. Gen Z, we are, I could admit that like my generation is hypersensitive about stuff, man. Like way too sensitive about stuff. It's cool to have compassion. It's cool to have grace and stuff like that, but that hypersensitivity does not lead to grace. It leads to hostility. It leads to hostility. So we see a lot of that, and that's just something that kind of grieves me. It's like, yo, like, what happened to being able to have my own opinions, to have my own thoughts, to express how I feel without, you thinking that I'm speaking bad about another group or another people. You know what I'm saying? I think we've gone away with that. I think we need to get back to that. Another thing is, just to guard your heart, and not just do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we are a selfish generation. I think Gen Z has become like a, just gratify my own flesh, do what I want. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm gonna do. I don't really care what nobody think about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to, to kind of be yourself as like your personality, your character, but to kind of just to do things without regard to anyone else. I think that's kind of where we are as a generation. I think we've gotten pretty selfish. I think we should be more family oriented. I think we should really cherish those that we love in our life, those that God has put in our lives, our friends, our family, co-workers, just to really embrace all of those things. So that's my message to the youth. It's my message to the youth. And I personally follow Jesus, and I think there's wisdom in that. I think there's truth in that. So, I would encourage Gen Z to press into that. Not trying to tell everybody to convert, but I do believe that there is truth in that. So that's my message.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely structure and religion, all of them. Yep. Muslim, because there's a lot of Gen Zs that's Muslim. You got some ones that's Christian, and whatever that you believe in. I promise you, if you read your book, there is some discipline in there that'll help you throughout your life. Like, 100%. Muslims, they're strict. Their Quran is I ain't gonna. It don't fall that far short from the Bible. It's a little bit more raw, like a lot more raw. But it's structure and it's some discipline in there that'll help your life on both sides. Whatever you choose, you want your religion to be, I promise you there'll be a good guide for you. It was a guide for me. I'm one of y'all. I might not be Gen Z, but I wasn't who I am, where I am today.
You Unc.
Yeah, I'm Unc for sure. I'm big, what I'm saying? And that's just, what it is. So my next question for you, so how was it and who were you as the young Cyrus back in the day? Because we speaking on to the youth, to the age that you were back then, but you're not there. Even though you in your 20s now, the ones that's making these mistakes it's crazy because not a lot of 19-year-olds is making these mistakes. It's really like 17 and down right now. It's 17 and it's from like 12 to like 17. That's like the number. Yeah. That's
that
like
14, 15 is the sweet spot when they start getting that little high school freedom.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but more morally on the DC side, and with that age number, and the Maryland side, it's like 14 and up, but DC is younger. Like, it's getting crazy. So how was it for you? Like, who were you, and what was you doing around that time? That 12 to 18. Like, give us a
12 to 18
time machine.
12 to 18 Psy.
Yeah.
6th grade to graduation. Yeah, I was active, physically active.
What was you know?
I was doing sports, boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so boxing, that was my primary sport.
Okay.
My dad got me into that.
Okay.
He started teaching me that when I was young, like 7. And, he taught me that just because he wanted me to be able to take care of myself and not be in a situation where I might be scared or fearful and stuff like that, being able to handle myself. And, just because where he was brought up in D.C., where he had to fight every time he moved. Every time he got to a new neighborhood, he had to fight. Yeah. So he said he used to kind of hate that anxiety he had. But anyway, so he didn't want me to feel that same way. So he taught me that, and I started to, really like it. So I got into it, had some amateur fights and stuff like that. I competed for a little while.
You still got it?
I'm still, I'm all right. You don't really lose it too much. I mean, you lose your conditioning. You get out of fighting shape.
Yeah, you like get that ring 4 rounds, you about to pass out.
Anything street fight related, that's like what? 90 seconds or less.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'm good on that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good on that. But I'm a peacekeeper, though. Never got in a fight. Never been in a fight in my life.
Except for the ring.
But, so boxing, ran track. My friends, because I was fast, dreadhead, athletic, they wanted me to play football. I never really been into it. So I did play.
Okay.
Just out of peer pressure. And it was fun. It was cool, but
What position you play?
I played running back.
I knew you played running back. I knew it.
I played running back, slot receiver, and what's that jingle? Cornerback.
Yeah, because you fast.
I was hitting a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but football was.
Did you get any touchdowns when you was playing?
I did. I had some. Yeah.
All right.
Stiff arm too. You said you was boxing. Your stiff arms probably knocking their heads off. Just out here, boom.
But my work ethic for football really wasn't
the same as boxing.
It wasn't the same. I wasn't going to them 2-a-days. I said 2-a-days. This is crazy. 2-a-days.
Yeah.
They had the Saturday film.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I got a life. I had a girlfriend at the time. I wanted to do other things. I wanted to play the game. I said, this is too much, so I quit. But anyways, so I was physically active. I was in school. I was doing well in school. I could have applied myself a little more. I wish I did, but I did well. Usually honor roll.
Okay.
And what else, man? What else? Always family oriented.
Tell us about that. How is it with you? How is it with the family? Because clearly, Pops is active and been active, and which is probably 90% of why a lot of Gen Z's jacked up. It's a discombobulated family situation. Tell us about yours.
2-parent family household. I'm definitely blessed to have both my mom and my dad, and I think that is a lot of the reason why I am who I am today. I was raised in a Christian household, but I still had the freedom to kind of do things, and that was helpful. That was I wasn't raised in a strict household, so I was still able to do things, to experience certain things. Of course, they shielded me as parents should shield their child, but I was still able to, watch certain things, listen to certain things, and to kind of formulate my own opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, so a lot of who I am today is definitely because I was raised in a 2-parent household, and not just 2 parents who were present, 2 parents who actually poured into me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference from parents just being there and parents being involved. My parents were involved. My dad was at every practice. My mom, there are plenty of memories I remember when she was a stay-at-home when I was young. And all of my siblings, just for background, all of my siblings are millennials. So I'm the baby. My siblings are older. So, I'm not going to say the ages, but they all over 30. And I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. So that definitely influenced the way I am, because we were so far apart in age that some people think that I'm the only child. Some people think I'm the oldest. Some people don't know where I fall in line. But I had to be kind of independent just because I was excluded from a lot of activities
that they was in.
My youth.
Yeah.
Even my cousins, all of them older than me, we still be laughing to this day when I go to some of the family functions. I'm like, yeah, I ain't missing nothing no more. I'm part of everything now. But
Ain't little no more.
Yeah, I ain't little no more. But yeah, so I definitely cherish family. I love family, and I see it as those who God placed in my life. I feel as though I'm responsible not responsible for how each family member as an individual turns out, but just responsible to be part of each family member's life in some capacity. Yeah.
So I think, basically your family designed the yellow brick road for you. And the part that you love the most, honestly, is they trusted you to follow it. And, don't forget, on the yellow brick road, that don't mean you stay on the yellow brick road. There is sometimes deviations that you take. But in Cole Harley, they probably wasn't as strict on you because you never gave them a reason not to trust you. And they believed in you. They poured in you. And you always was a sponge. Some children not. Some like me, I was not a sponge, bro. I was a brick. I'm telling you, boy. My mom, if you ever sit down with my mama and other people that they tell you I was, and I think it was like only child syndrome, cause like I was firstborn syndrome.
Okay.
I was a firstborn, and then I had sisters after me, and then I had a brother after me. So it was like when they first came, one of them came, I was like, nah, bro, like this ain't it. Then the other one came, I was like, yo, what is happening? Cause like the attention from me disappeared.
Yeah.
And that messes with a kid. Like people don't understand, like they don't, like parents be like, man, that's just spoiled and stuff. I'm like, no, y'all don't understand, like it changes the trajectory of your emotions, and some kids do what I did, which is act out, and it don't feel good. Like when you feel like something was robbed or taken from you, like you feel like that love is just gone because it was so much of it, and then when it depletes, it's like, what's happening? So then now you go look for that love elsewhere.
And on top of that, you also begin getting responsibilities to now take care of these younger siblings.
Yeah, but you like, I don't want to do that. Like, and then you be mean to them, like not on purpose. It's just like, it's harder, even harder when you in a single household, single mom, a single parent household, and you grew up with that single mom at a certain age. Like my mom was young and she grew up with me, and I was firstborn. So of course, she's loving on me so hard. Yep. So of course, when the girl come, who you think the mom connects more with? You know what I'm saying? They could buy the pink stuff and Barbie dolls, and
like.
It's
all the things I wanted.
Right.
And I can't blame single parents, especially single mothers. It is not hard. It's not easy to raise a son. So I'm not noticing that until now. I'm older, like, cause my son, boy, that boy is a lot. Okay, but he's not a lot with me.
Shout out him.
That's my guy. He's not a lot with me because he know I don't play that. Right. He know not to play it. But honestly, it's crazy because I hate every time I do this because it's like I'm defending his bad shit. But honestly, I know why he's like that. He truly don't know when he's doing something because he's done it so much. Yep. So if you got one parent that allow a person to do whatever they want, they don't know it's wrong, and then you got another parent that's telling them that it's wrong, it's confusing them. 100%. And that's the benefit of having what you had both. They're on the same accord. So it's no way that your pops gonna say no, and then you go to mom, and mom be like, go ahead, because 9 times out of 10, you gonna get in trouble, and they're gonna do it in front of you. They're gonna be like, I told him he couldn't get it. Oh, you did. So now you're in trouble because now they're on the same page. They know that you're trying to be sneaky and get what you're supposed to do.
That's not always the case. I was the baby as well. I got an older brother, and I understand that resentment you talking about, where my brother had to go take 2 buses to my elementary school to pick me up so we could walk home. Right?
Oh yeah, so he was beefing.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, if I had to do that, I know that's not okay. Like,
right?
It's an issue. But in addition to that, like now, if I asked my dad for something, like, so if I was like, Dad, can you pick me up from somewhere? My dad was like, if you can go out, you can come back. If I ain't take you there, well, I gotta pick you up. But now if I ask my mom, I'm not leaving my baby out in these streets. So if I call him, my dad, why you out here making this boy soft? And that will actually sometimes create that parental rift as well. So it's parents, y'all also have to be very aware of that that them kids, they playing games, them younger ones, they gonna try to definitely use their power. They know that it's a little bit softer on the younger one. They know that it's a little bit more understanding because they've been through it with the older one already.
Right. I definitely had that understanding.
Yeah, I
Definitely had that understanding.
I can understand that
But
one.
to your point, I was a sponge. If you ask my siblings, if you ask my sister,
Oh yeah.
I've seen what they've done wrong, and I watched them getting beat or whatever. Them getting disciplined. That used to happen back then.
He like, nah.
Gen
I don't
Z,
want that.
They used to get disciplined phically back then. I know we sensitive about that now,
It used to pop off the hip
but
fast.
it ain't child abuse. But anyways,
Oh yeah,
I used to see that, and I'd be in the corner. I'm just like this with my fingers. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Standing at the doorway, I'm watching. And I feel like my parents kind of let me watch.
Right.
'Cause they never, I mean, sometimes they would close the door, but they for the most part, they either didn't know I was there or they let me watch. Because I was able to
So
see.
it was a lesson in a
It
lesson.
was a lesson in a lesson. And I never dealt with that. I learned. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. All right. Can't talk to her like that.
Yeah.
Boom. I learned. So shout out to my older siblings for taking the beating for me.
Yeah. Hey, look, sometimes that's what it is, man. Like, I think I didn't start. It's crazy because, like I said, the oldest. I didn't start taking beatings for my siblings until I got older. And when I mean by beatings, it was more so protective beatings. Like, I think I was in some bad school in Landover, and these boys kept messing with my sister, and I thought it was crazy because that was my first time being protective. Like, that's when I noticed it. I was like, man, that's my sister, man. I leave my sister alone. Remind you, my dad ain't nowhere to be found. He in jail. He locked up. So I acted off of impulse to go and protect my sister from these boys that was picking on her. And guess what I didn't know? How to goddamn fight.
Oh, they jumped you?
Man, listen, I got wore out, okay? And look, it is crazy because that's the whole point that I be saying about how it's really difficult for moms. Like, certain moms, and it's messed up to say it like this, but hood mothers still, they think that they can raise a boy, but they still can't. Because they're teaching them in a way where it's too thorough. Like, they're trying to toughen them up in a way where they're being, like, mean and cussing at them and doing all that stuff. That's the wrong way. But every boy, I think I need to rearrange this. Every child needs to learn how to defend themselves, period.
Yes.
And it's easier to learn that from the father figure. Not saying that the mom can't.
It's a fact.
And I made it worse. After that happened, you know what I did the next day? Bro, I took a knife to school and got expelled. But what else did I have?
So
I didn't have no other way.
I feel you. I almost got expelled off bringing a knife to school.
And then I didn't even use it. I
Somebody
got caught with it.
It fell out your pocket?
No, I was about to use it, and then I saw the teacher, so I threw it on the roof. So I don't know if y'all noticed that Merlin schools got these like little slopes on the roofs. It's like a little slopey thing.
Right.
Bro, I threw it on that joint, came back down. Oh my God! I got
anybody?
huh?
It hit somebody?
Nah.
Oh,
This geeking old teacher, his name was Mr. James. I never get his name. Got expelled. I had to move to Philly. I went to school in Philly in
Mr.
Jersey.
James
for
saved
like
the
a while.
life, man. Shout out Mr. James if you
Yeah,
watching.
because if he didn't come out, because they was bullying me in front of the school, right then and there, and I was about to use it because y'all picking on my sister, y'all jumped me, y'all house is on the way to ours, so it's like they have to walk the way that we walking to go home, and I didn't know how to tell my mom, cause my mom was embarrassing back in the day. And not in a way where it's embarrassing like she was doing crazy stuff. Embarrassing like if somebody messed with her kid, she is going up to the school and going crazy.
she fighting the kids.
Like she don't care. Like she was not playing. Like this teacher threw a pencil at me because I was talking too much. Bro, she went up to that school. I'll never forget this. I think I was in like 4th grade. She went up there and I was so embarrassed Then now I wouldn't take it as embarrassing. I was like, no, that whole time my mom was just protecting me.
Yeah, she was 100% right.
Like
Yeah,
I
that
get
teacher
it.
was wilding.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's why but it made me afraid to tell my mom what happened because my mom about to go beat up all these little boys, and I feel like a sucker because I don't know how to fight. But after that, when I went to Jersey that's when I stepped into like hearing about boxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I gotta learn this. And I didn't even know it was a stigma with like skin complexions because every school I went to, and that's why your pops always was fighting because he was handsome. You know what I'm saying? Pops was handsome, bro. That's why he kept having to fight, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's my twin.
yeah, man. You see what I'm saying? but see, you got it different. You cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you laid back and like it's a difference when you know that you handsome and when you know that you handsome. It's like two different things. Like. Some people that know they taking it too far. It's arrogant, you know what I'm saying, and then it make people not like you. I have it when you walk in an area where everybody like you, bro. That's your benefit. That's your gift. Use that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't people like me. I ain't got that. I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? But to get back on track and everything, Gen Z, of course, they have social media, right? They have other outlets that my generation had but didn't have access to it 24/7. Ours, we had like MySpace, we had Facebook, we had Black Panic.
You had a Skonex?
Yeah, they had those. But thing about it is you couldn't. Then we had dial-up.
Man.
You know what dial-up is?
No.
So when we had to get on the internet, it had to be hooked up to a phone line. Mm-hmm. So it was like AOL. Take 15 minutes for you to be able to get online.
It's a buffer every time.
Mm-hmm. So then it was a process getting on, and then once you got it, it got a little crazy. MySpace got crazy. It was like gang started becoming gang related. Mm-hmm. Black Planet got corrupted, but it got worse more and more down the line. But Henley had said something on the podcast. He was saying that he feel as though that it's not fair how they try to bring up social media and say this is the reason when in our generation, which is me and the millennials and people before me, we had access to that as well. Right. And we was doing the same stuff that they are doing now. Mm-hmm. But you know why we didn't know about it? Why? Because we didn't have what
publicized on
you couldn't see it. When people did something, it wasn't all over MySpace, all over Facebook. It wasn't no feed. It wasn't that big. Like if somebody recorded somebody getting jumped, it was just on their phone. Mm-hmm. Somebody get jumped or somebody get beat up, it's able to get posted. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that Gen Z is worse than what we were because they don't know what we was doing because it wasn't posted. Mm-hmm. It wasn't publicized. Yep. So I understood. He is a Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? Like he and I thought about it and I was like, dang, he actually right. Everything that we did that was bad or stuff that was done in the streets or bad stuff that was done in the schools.
Kept in secret.
It was kept in secret. But with Gen Z, it's like, bam! Right in your face. Yeah. But it's not. But how we not know that we was just like that? And I'm thinking about it. We were. Because when I was in school, we had riots in Cardozo. When I was in Cardozo, it was crazy in that joint. We had two crazy riots. One person got stabbed. It was a bad stuff that was happening. Mm-hmm. But of course, it just wasn't being able to be seen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, the DC shooter's son was not a Gen Z. He was a millennial. Yep. Mm-hmm. So if you think, like, I can't keep saying that they all crash outs when we had a lot of crash outs in ours too. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just think they need to, like, these other people need to acknowledge that. Stop saying that all the OGs need to go out and talk to the youth and da-da-da-da, because in reality, they don't want to listen to them because that in their mind, they're like, bro, you a hypocrite. You did it. You was doing it at my age, and I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
So it's like y'all got to figure out a different approach, you know. And I just I had to speak on that because when he said that, I was watching. I was like, man, that spoke volumes.
You make a good point, and you definitely make a good point because that's kind of how Gen Z looking at Gen Alpha now. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, that's just the generation that crash outs. That's how we kind of looking at them, and I think every preceding generation says that about the next. So Gen X was saying that about millennials. Millennials were saying that about us. We saying that about Gen Alpha. So that's fair. That's definitely fair. I will say, I do believe that having all of this information and knowledge, having this access to the internet and social media and stuff like that, I think it is causing people to get into stuff they shouldn't get to at a younger age.
Right. Agreed.
Because they have that knowledge.
Agreed.
So although we might be doing the same things, I think it's getting younger and younger. That's the
100%.
problem. That's the problem.
Young kids out here smoking weed now, bro. I'm talking about 9 years old out here on the corner smoking weed. I saw that. I was like, bro, why you smoking, man? What you mean, bro? Like, what? And it ain't no way you not going home and their parents ain't smelling that, bro. Like, this shit is crazy to me. And you know what? I hope I don't get canceled for this, but I'm blaming a lot on the schools on a lot of stuff, bro. Did y'all know they took away cursive? There's no cursive writing in school.
Let me tell y'all, I stopped writing cursive in 6th grade. 6th grade was the last time I wrote cursive.
But that's crazy. So your signature, how you learn to make a signature?
I learned that.
Right? No, I'm saying
you stopped in 6th grade, but
but you still were able to learn how to do a signature.
Right? Like
they at least got.
She in 5th grade right now. She not gonna learn how to sign
bro.
her name.
And then they got rid of 87.8% of books in school. Yep. Everything is on laptop and tablets. That's what. That's why. That is the reason why they so addicted to this right here. Yep. They didn't put it in the schools now, and they sending them home with you.
And mind you, if you gave me a laptop to do my work in school, I'm not about to do no work. I'm not. I got access to everything else. Why would I do work if I have access to everything else I like?
There is limited access on those laptops though.
They can still get to YouTube.
But people be finding
loopholes and stuff. They be having the cool math with it.
Yeah, facts.
It's a lot of different things that's not going on when they should be actually learning.
Bro, it's no way that y'all not getting A's. That's all I want to say. I'm sorry, bro.
They're not looking it up.
Bro.
They're not looking it up.
What? I didn't even have a calculator in school.
Man.
I didn't have a calculator.
You had to do it off the brain.
Off the brain and paper.
I'm talking y'all got dinosaurs.
Y'all on a computer. Y'all got computers? You telling me I take my test on my computer? And you telling me I can wear an Apple Watch? I can have my phone? Bro, what is pi times 4 equals?
Man, I was
pi equals. No. All right, bet. Got the answer. I'm using this to my advantage. Y'all got that cheat code to really be great in schools. Yep. And it's just unbelievable to me. Like, people in college should not be failing. It's too many people. It's too much AI.
Yep.
Like, we didn't have none of that. You can ask AI to write you a paper. You can say,
you gotta do is revise it.
That's it. Like, that's crazy to me. That's why I'm like, people are getting dumb because they're relying on technology. I'm part of the problem. Once the technology came, bro, I cannot remember people's numbers. Like, if something happened to me, I lose my phone, I can't call nobody. Only person I remember number is my grandma. She always in Carolina. What she gonna do?
Well, she had the same number forever, didn't
she? She had that number since I was a baby.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I still remember the house number from back in the day. Like,
our memories are diminishing, attention span diminishing. Like you said, we're relying on the access we have. And it makes sense because, I fall victim to it too. It definitely makes sense just because, like, I'm not going to not have my phone. So that's just kind of how I'm thinking. But it is important to kind of know certain things and not rely on technology.
Yeah, bro, your body, it follows the traits. Like, the doctors told me I was supposed to have glasses. I was supposed to have glasses since I was a kid, right? And that would have been able to have my vision under a 20/20. Now mine's is like in the negatives because I didn't wear glasses, and now there is no fixing the glasses. You build stigmas by not trying to fix the problem. Your stigmas get worse when you don't follow the problem, follow the thing to fix the problem. 100%. So it's just like that got to be the same thing with your body. Like if you got a bad knee and you don't do anything to it, you just continue to let it be a bad knee, it's going to become a badder knee, worse knee. Like it's not going to change. But if you follow the instructions of your body, train it, work on it, build muscle, take protein, take vitamins, knee gonna get better. And it's the same thing with your brain. Yep. Like you gotta train it, and then after a while, it can't be trained. Like people do not get that part. After you do not train your mind for a certain period of time, it's over with. Yeah. It's like it's nothing that you can really do. Like
let me tell y'all the best way to do that. Read books.
There it is.
Read books. I'm trying to get in the habit.
Not the iPad.
I do read books. I struggle finishing books. That's the problem for me. But yeah, read books.
You gotta find something that you really, really like, man.
Read books, man. I'm into financial books. I'm into theological books. I'm into psychology books, things that relate to building good habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'll shout that one out. That's a good book. Read books. That's the best way. There's statistics and studies that back that. There's a science to it. So I say read. Yeah.
So I know that we're getting close to the end. I just want to get this question before we get up out of here. If you could change one problem in our society, what would it be? What would you do?
And why?
One problem. In our society.
Our society.
I spoke to that earlier, and I'm a double down on it. I think having the freedom of opinion, freedom of thought, without having to be otherized and antagonized by whatever said group who's on the opposing side of thinking. That's a problem, man. That's a problem.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I was trying to get it, and I was trying to understand. So can you give me like a something I can go off of?
Okay. This is an easy one.
Okay.
Politics. And I'm not going to talk about specifics, but if you are on one side, someone's on another side, and you hear what side they are on, then immediately there's no room for nuance. There's no room for any agreeing at all. So you immediately
character.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically
you shut that person down immediately.
Like a person that is a diehard Redskins fan, a person that's a diehard Cowboys fan. They never can have a medium.
You can't have a conversation.
Nope.
If
not even a little bit.
If your disposition towards somebody who disagrees with you or who identifies in a different way, if your disposition is to immediately shut down or just be antagonistic toward that person, there's no room for conversation.
Right, so it should be able to be conversation rather than arguments and
no matter
turmoil.
Whether you mad or not.
Right.
I don't think we have enough composure as a society, as a generation. You got to be composed. Sometimes I'm pissed off and I'm talking to you just like this. You won't know that I'm mad. How do you
maintain that composure? What's some tricks for you?
For me, I would say, really, let's see. How do I word this without, because I'm not talking to all Christians. I would say really trying to tap into your spiritual nature. So for me, it's the Holy Spirit, right? Some people know it as the Holy Ghost. There are certain qualities of that: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And self-control is one of those things that is composure. Patience, that's composure. Joy, peace, that's composure. Love, that's composure. So if you love someone, and if you are about peace, if you are about self-control, if you're about patience and all of those things, then you will have composure and you will speak to people in a way that is respectful. You have grace for them. You won't immediately go to, oh, they dumb. You will go to, oh, they come from a different background. They might have some trauma. They have a whole different life experience and worldview than I do. So why would I treat this person as less than human just for a difference in opinion? We got to work on that.
I agree. So I want to end this with one. My last thing would be, because we are a mental health behavioral health organization, I want to ask your opinion, like how real you feel like the mental health is being in in our community right now. Do you think it got worse? You think you think it's not being attended to? Like, what's your opinion?
I think since it's more acknowledged than it's ever been, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a start.
Okay.
The key to really addressing a problem is to first acknowledge it. So it is being acknowledged. It is acknowledged that it is an epidemic in our nation. That is something that has been, that's something that's been going on for a while. We handle it much better than what we did back in the 50s, the 70s, even the 90s. But yeah, I think acknowledging it is good. So I think we're going in the right direction. We're trending in the right direction. People are more encouraged to utilize things like therapy, utilize things like certain social institutions, AA, Alcohol Anonymous. There's some psychological work that goes in on those things. Church or whatever other faith meeting you might go to. So I think, and like I said, therapy, seeking that. I know a lot of people who are actively in therapy, and I think it's a good thing. We have therapy. Us first responders, we definitely have free therapy that is offered as well. Awesome. That's another benefit that we have. So, yeah, I think it's going in the right direction. It's definitely real. People are noticing that it's real. Mental health is a real thing. I would say one piece of advice I would say is to have gratitude. There have been studies that show that if you have gratitude, if you are grateful for the things that you have, then that positively affects your mood and your mental well-being overall. So, yeah.
All right. We forgot to ask him. What's your end goal, man? Where you want to be in the, like you say you're an officer, but that's just the beginning. Like, where you retire, your goal is to retire 45, 50 years old, right?
Right.
Where do you see yourself? Like, cause look, you done got me. You done sent me a few shows and few things, so I'm seeing that it's different roles in the department. Yeah. It's CIA, it's the freaking chief of the police, it's the sheriff, detective. Like, I know this ain't it. So where do you plan on going? Like, what? Tell me. I want to know.
So, been on for 4 years, right?
Okay.
It'll be 5 in June.
Okay.
Congratulations. Thank you. So I wanted to, first be an officer, kind of learn. I do outreach right now.
Okay.
So that is a full-time thing.
Right. That's a good thing.
After that, maybe within the next 2 to 4 years, I want to become a detective.
Hey, which one?
Which one?
Yeah, because I know it's like different.
So you start off as
Because they got homicide.
It's different types.
Okay.
Yeah. Not homicide.
Okay. Amen.
Not sexual assault.
Amen.
Okay. Nah. I can't do the child abuse stuff.
Okay.
I might crash out. I can't do it.
No. So what about detective, like lost child?
You start off, I'm not going to specify too much, but you start off at like a certain grade, right?
Okay.
So for that first year, you're doing like the small stuff. People stealing from grocery stores and stuff like that.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is detective work. Yeah. Because they call and they had to do investigation.
You check the surveillance, you check the cameras, and you find people who are doing, who are frequently, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you build a case. Oh, that's the same person. That's the same person.
Got you.
You connect it, and then from there you get to more serious stuff like the robberies.
Got you.
Free car, all that.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think that's the route I want to go.
So that's like so you be more so on like the material side. So basically like robberies, theft, like that area. Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
then from there, I'll consider. I can't really
Do you see yourself as maybe being a chief? Or you feel like it's a lot of work? Cause I heard it's a lot of work, bro. I heard them chiefs be stressed out.
Man,
I
can
personally
imagine.
don't think I can't see it right now.
Alright.
I can't see past 5-10 years.
Okay.
I can plan for it. I can prep for it. There are certain things I know I want. You know, one of my passions is real estate. You know, so owning properties and stuff like that. And
So that sounds like really your end goal.
that's really my end goal, to have some properties, to get some income, to get some residual income from that.
Okay.
Some yeah, I mean that's one of my things. You get money from the equity, you get cash flow from the renters paying you on a monthly basis and stuff like that. So
basically, you're gonna use this career to
fund
fund
that.
your career that you want to be in.
which is what
Come on, man,
pretty
man.
much.
Get that money, man. Get that money, man.
you know.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
I just want to say thank y'all. Thank you so much, Cyrus, for coming on today.
No doubt, man. No
I
doubt.
definitely appreciate it. I want to tell everybody, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,
Oh yeah.
and we'll see you next time on That Side Podcast.
Hey man, look, make sure that y'all actually watching and listening. Don't just be looking and doing other things. Pay attention. Hear what we saying, because like we care about y'all. We care about everything that we saying, and we want the best for y'all. We don't want y'all to make any mistakes that we made or mistakes that we haven't made yet, because you never know what happens. So just take heed. Have composure. Have respect. Stop focusing on the main thing that everybody in the streets is focused on, which is loyalty. I need you to focus on other things like self-care. Like focus on you. Do the right things. Don't be a follower. All right? We out.
All right.